Nobody wants to be alone. Some people, like myself, prefer to be alone when completing tasks, but nobody wants to die alone with nobody remembering who they are. It's a scary thought to be alone. It doesn't even have to be alone physically, as in nobody is near you, but being alone in your thoughts, having nobody agree with your thoughts, can make you feel like you're going crazy. Humans are social creatures. We tend to look for social interactions and need them to feel anything. Sounds deep, but it's true. We need that simple little hello when you first walk into a building, or that feedback from whatever it was that you did. Without them, we would feel empty. Humans are social creatures. We tend to look for social interactions and need them to feel anything. Sounds deep, but it's true. We need that simple little hello when you first walk into a building, or that feedback from whatever it is that you did. Without them, we would feel empty. That feeling of emptiness is the feeling of loneliness, but when not even yourself can feel like company. It's sad, but it's not an eternal trap, although it feels that way. You have to start looking for company in yourself before you can expect that feeling to go away. It's hard to be your own company. It feels off and weird if you're forcing it. It has to kind of come naturally to you, to be able to make yourself smile and laugh and talk back to those thoughts in your head. If you force yourself, it doesn't work. It's unnatural and can send you even further into the feeling of being sad and alone because not even yourself can help you. So now you start to look for any sort of interaction. Even the bad interactions are better than nothing, right? Wrong. If you take this path to try and cure your loneliness, you'll only dig the hole deeper. So what do we do to fix this? How can we stop feeling alone and start interacting socially normally and not feeling like hitting the off switch because no one wants us here? It's actually really simple. First, make a change. It can be anything. Do you not eat breakfast? Do you sleep late? Do you spend all of your free time brain rotting away in your bed? Whatever it is, make a change. It doesn't have to be drastic either. I'm not expecting you to turn into David Goggins overnight. I get that it's difficult, but it starts with a change. Maybe try and make a light breakfast, get some more sleep, or watch more educational content. Just a simple change that you can stick to because you don't want to be feeling alone anymore or lost. You want to improve yourself, so try to change. After you make a change, start to think about ways you aren't alone. Now you're probably saying, this dumb kid doesn't shut up. I'm watching these videos because I am alone. But you're not. Think about all the other people who feel alone, who feel lost, who feel depressed and sad, who can barely do anything productive. That's just one way you're not alone. You probably live in a community or a neighborhood, and I bet a lot of the people around you are facing very similar problems. Being lost? I mean, aren't we all? Seriously, we're all monkeys on a rock in space. How much can we really know? Can we really ever be found? You don't gotta be so serious and hard on yourself. This kind of mentality switch will do miracles for you in your feeling of loneliness, realizing just how similar you are to everyone else. I'm not alone, and you're not either, right? Also wrong. You will always be alone. This part of the video is where it gets really tricky and complicated, because I spent a lot of time thinking about this to come to this conclusion. But we are all one. I know I sound insane, but this isn't your first time hearing this, and that's for good reason. It's true. Remember that feeling of awareness I explained from my last video? Well, everyone feels that, and we all feel our own awareness. This is about to take a spin, but have you ever thought about where you come from? Your awareness, like where, what location did our awareness come from? I doubt it's physical, but spiritual, a feeling. That place we come from is what makes us all one. Sure, right now we are a separate 8 billion people walking around, but we are all the same one thing, the universe. It sounds wild, but we all come from space dust that shouldn't even exist, but we act like that's normal. It's true, we are the universe and the universe is us. I have no idea where we go when we die. Our awareness, does it just end? Does it restart somewhere else? I have no idea, and honestly I'd rather not spend too much time on that. But I bet it's the same as before we were put here. Space dust. Not physically, but spiritually, we are space dust. Just waiting for another opportunity to split into awareness. Now all of this is hard to follow and sounds weird, and for good reason. We are trying to uncover our soul here. It shouldn't be a straight line that's easy to follow. To recap this section, You will always be alone because we are all one. Think of it like this. Let's say there's an all-powerful entity. Awareness is his name. After an unimaginable amount of time of just floating in darkness with nothing but his own thoughts, it gets bored enough to design the universe. It's some of the entity's best work until this point. He looks at all the planets and stars and travels around for another unimaginable amount of time, but eventually he gets bored again. So he picks a nice little blue and green planet and decides it's time to unleash his new plan to cure his boredom. He calls it life. His plan is to split himself into awareness to be able to experience the different life forms. But he quickly realizes he found the perfect way to pass the time by creating a creature that can have the same thoughts and feelings as him and be able to experience that feeling that he is, awareness. But at the birth of these creatures, they forget all about the past, creating the universe and all that is within, and decides to just play the game to help clear this feeling of boredom and loneliness. But he can foresee a problem. If these creatures can think for themselves and feel awareness, wouldn't they be able to remember what they came from? But what if they couldn't? And now they're just stuck feeling the exact same as him, just feeling lost and always asking why. So he creates a backdoor to remind himself of what he is, just in case. However, the backdoor must be shrouded in mystery and trickery in a way that no one could ever find out, as to not ruin the illusion he is creating for himself. One day he takes the back door, remember who he is and what he did, and now has to live the rest of this creature's lifetime with that knowledge, reminding him that he is always alone. Now that last story was just that, a story, but it helps us think about where we come from and we can kind of visualize the questions we are trying to figure out. But I do believe we are all one, of the same thing that got bored enough to create us. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to know or figure out exactly what it is, word for word, bar for bar, but there might be a back door. And I believe that is through spirituality. Allowing yourself to get closer to the true you, which, of course, if all of this stands true, you will, without any bit of doubt, always be alone. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing at all. It just kind of makes us realize we need to be nicer to each other and take care of each other, because we are all family. At the end of the day, we're just one species on a rock floating in space. And as far as I'm concerned, that shit's in the middle of nowhere. So don't waste your life away being rude and disrespectful, fueling your ego, only to end up in the same place in the end, because we are always alone. You're back. I don't really know why, but you watched another video of mine, and that makes me happy. I really do appreciate you a lot, and I do want to start taking this serious in a different direction. I want to create something that's very valuable to everybody that spends their time watching these videos, and I just wanted to say thank you for being here on the start of my journey, and I really appreciate you a lot. Like every single one of you that is seeing this right now, thank you. And let's change the world for the better. Keep thinking, baby.